This is quite simply the most inspiring, the most creative, the most interesting, the most enjoyable, and just all round colourful and fun way to find samples on your hard drive. Most specifically for drums, but as you'll see in this video, you can use it for other sample types too. It creates these maps of sample packs. So you load up a sample pack and it analyzes it, and then it creates this interactive map. I mean, you can choose the colors and that's fun, but more exciting is that click about, try a sound, do you like it? Zoom in, zoom out, zoom back in again, and it's grouping similar sounds together. But one of my favorite bits is how you can either zoom in or zoom out. You can zoom in or zoom out to decide how many things do you want to audition. Do you want to audition all 200 hi-hats? Or maybe just 6 or 7, or even just 2 or 3? There's just no other way to so quickly try all the different types of sounds in a sample pack at literally whichever granularity you want. It's grouping similar sounds together so you can very quickly decide what type of sound you want. And if you want something similar but slightly different, you can just zoom in and try a different one. There's just no other way to do that. It's outrageously good. All drag and drop, drag things in, drag things out, maybe randomize, or let's say you're randomized, but you like just 2 of the sounds, lock those 2 sounds, click randomize again, and it will fill the other boxes with similar types of sounds. It's so good. It's such a good way of working. I mean, it even comes with MIDI, so you can choose a standard drum pattern, for example, and then maybe a kick and a snare and a hi-hat or whatever it is, and then you can find random alternatives but of a similar type. So you can choose yourself or have it randomly generated, or a combination of the two by just locking in some of the sounds and then randomly generating the other ones. Not to mention layouts. I mean, depending on your MIDI controller, you can choose a different layout of slots effectively. So if you had something like this, it's all plugged in at the moment. Come on, cable. So if you had a different MIDI controller so no matter what controller you're using, I mean, you could be using something like this. So no matter what MIDI controller you have, you could basically press the button. You can map it to the thing. And there are some advanced features too, but it's just the nicest way to find drum samples. It's the most beautiful and inspiring and fastest, most enjoyable, most creative way to find samples. And great drums start with great samples, and it's the best way to do it. In addition, it doesn't have to be drums. I mean, that's Diplo. Go away, Diplo. I've been having lots of fun creating maps for just generic sample packs, or even entire hard drives full of sample packs. So it ends up trying to categorize sounds that aren't drum sounds as different drums and different groups. And whoa, I mean, just take a look at this. You can see it's organizing much more than just drums, but it's categorizing them and like sort of trying to make sense of them and put them into certain groups. And it's such a nice way of finding samples. As I say, not even just drum samples. It's just the best way in general to find sounds. Even if you ignore all the cool organizational stuff, the ability to click through an entire sample pack full of, or an entire hard drive full of samples as quickly and easily as that to find the one you want and then drag it into your project. That alone would be useful, but then the ability to zoom in on a related set of sounds, it's just so Diplo. It's fast, it's enjoyable and creatively interesting, and that gets you creating good things. It gets you creating much better things than you would otherwise. I'm a bit lost for words. You'll see. Give it a go. You'll see. It's just the best way to find samples on your hard drive, especially drum samples, but more generally speaking, it still probably is the best way to find samples on your hard drive. Give it a go. It's a squirrel. It's a squirrel. Oh yes, Multiplier is a genius. We doing, squirrel? Oh, it's bouncing along the wall. It's got a nut. Oh, it's run away. Oop. Squirrel can even like and dislike things, so it learns what samples you like. It's crazy. It can learn what samples I like, what types of sounds I like, and which ones I don't, by just robots, AI, crazy. got a squeaky chair. Maybe I'll get a robot to fix that. Yes. Ooh. There'll be a link in the description below. You've just got to try it. You've just got to try it. It's such a nice way of finding samples. Fast, creative, interesting. I mean, that alone, that's what we need. Fast, creative, interesting. Yes. Yo, Diplo. Yeah, it's multiplier. Yep. Person on the internet, YouTube, catchphrases, bumping into stuff. Yeah, multiplier. Yeah, funny story. Anyway, I've got something important to tell you. I found the best way to find samples, especially for drums. But I mean, as if you watch this video, you'll see you can do much more with it too. Funny story, very funny for Diplo. That's a funny flamingo. But let's focus. Atlas. I'm here to tell you about Atlas. It's the best way to find drum sounds. Anyway, I've got to go. Got to do the video. So do watch that on the YouTube. Yeah, and I'll let me know what happens with the fingers. Diplo, complete maniac. Anyway, Atlas.